After the failure of the November 1830 uprising, thousands of Poles left the country to live a life in exile. They represented the cultural elite, the artistic elite, the literary elite. What was the effect on Poland, on ideas, on culture, of having the major cultural and political influences be forged outside the lands of Poland? In this episode of Poland Daily History, we look at these issues in greater detail and assess the effect of this great emigration. Welcome to Poland Daily History with me, Nicholas Richardson. Today I'm in the studio with Dominik Szczęsny Kostanecki, a historian and a PhD scholar, and we're going to discuss the Great Emigration. Dominik, thank you for joining us.
Historians generally agree that these types of emigration can effectively last for, let's say, 20, 30 years. I mean, it's after a certain period of time they simply burn out. Intellectually they got those who left Poland in 1831-32 become inactive. Their children are less Polish than their parents because they were born there. They had never seen Poland. No, of course, they speak Polish, yes, but they don't have that longing that I'm constantly picking up here because they had never been to Poland. So their homeland, in a sense, is already France. So it's inevitable that with this, time, elapsing, it's inevitable that this emigration cannot be as powerful as it had been in the beginnings.
And I gather that, for example, Branitzky was a friend of Napoleon III. And was he able to use that to achieve anything for the Polish cause?
Yes, I mean, one name that we have to produce here is Alexander Valesky, a natural son, I mean, you can say, illegitimate of Napoleon. And Alexander Valesky, and of course, for Napoleon III, it was very important to let's say, became a patron or the patron of Poles in France. So in order to make a gesture, he appointed Alexander Valesky, so in a sense his cousin, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Second Empire. But then again, I mean, let's be clear. The success was limited when the January uprising broke out in 1863. Napoleon III, he sends best wishes to Polish soldiers, but no actions are taken.
No actual.
So some say that Valesky, the fact that Valesky became the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs is a great success. No, because I mean the results are very limited, if any.
Right.
Again, I mean the difference that they can make is that they try to make the general public opinion and the political opinion favorable. That's the only thing that they can do. I mean, nobody risks their own interest, to help in politics.
No, of course not.
To help another party.
No, I think international diplomacy tends to be quite cynical and self-interested, which of course is what you would expect. Effectively. And is it possible to sort of draw some general conclusions about the sort of impact on Polish culture that the fact that all this intellectual activity, for want of a better word, want of better two words, was taking place outside Poland, in Paris particularly?
I would say that the greatest impact is that Romanticism became so-called, it's not that somebody calls it like this or on a regular basis. But let's put it this way, that Romanticism became Polish most important intellectual current. Lech Kaczyński said once that in the Polish, the Polish character is of that type that Romanticism best fits the Polish character. And along with that, talented people, whose talent was already beginning to show up before the uprising, could flourish to the boundaries. To push the boundaries. In my opinion, because of the fact that these people had to leave Poland, and so the emotion was high. That's one thing, and the other thing was that this interaction with the Western European culture. So Mickiewicz, who was a great poet, was no longer, contained to Lithuania. Of course, where the intellectual news from Western Europe was coming, but not that intense, not that fresh. So, in a sense, the Polish culture received, new energy through that contact.
Yes, exactly. So, by virtue of being based in Western Europe,
it was spurred.
There was a sort of combination of being able to absorb sort of Western European experience, in a background of sort of heightened romantic creativity, which then gave birth to this fantastic literature.
Let's say in Vilnius, Mickiewicz could read Lamennais, but in Paris he could talk to him.
Exactly, so that's great.
So that's the difference.
So that in a funny way, although obviously from a political point of view it's not ideal, actually for the artists and the writers, it probably was actually a very good thing. They were able to really absorb and talk to, as you say, and communicate with their contemporaries in the Western, creating the Western canon at the same time as their heightened romantic feelings were able to lead to creativity.
So that's one. That's one aspect. So the advantage that the Polish culture took, and the other is that Polish culture could be spread worldwide. We don't know if Chopin is the best Polish composer. It's hard to measure.
Exactly, but he's the one we all know about. So
exactly.
But that's probably a good note on which to end. Dominik, that's been a fantastic canter through Polish exiles and their political and their intellectual and cultural achievements. Thank you very much.
Many thanks.
Thank you. That's it for this edition of Poland Daily History. Join us again when we delve into the exciting and surprising Polish history. Thank you.